Bonjour, aujourd'hui je vais faire ma déclaration d'abord en anglais et puis après en français. Today I'm at Etobicoke and I'm with my candidates from the greater GTA. They are ready to fight for you and fight for Canadians. I want to talk today here about the housing crisis, which is raging across Canada and especially here in the greater Toronto area. Behind me and in this whole neighborhoods of Etobicoke are apartments blocks that are filed of everything that is wrong about our housing policy and about our immigration policy. Thank you. This is a symbol of everything that is wrong about our housing policy and about our immigration policy in Canada. Buying a home has become out of reach for many Canadians, especially young families living in large cities. Vancouver and Toronto have become two of the most unaffordable urban centers in the world. Over the past few decades, the federal government has manipulated financial criteria to make it easier for buyers to qualify for loans and mortgage insurance. It provided tax relief to first-time buyers and funded social housing. It spent billions of dollars and created various bureaucratic programs to supposedly make housing more affordable. It has not worked at all. On the contrary, the housing crisis has been getting worse for years. We know exactly what the root cause of the problem is: mass immigration. Under the Trudeau government, Canada's population grew at its highest rate since the 1950s. In 2023 alone, Canada opened its door to nearly 1.3 million foreigners. This represents the entire population of Saskatchewan. It is estimated that nearly 2.7 million non-permanent residents were living in Canada as of January 2024. Mass immigration is the main reason for exorbitant housing prices in Canadian cities. Approximately 40% of immigrants to Canada end up settling in only two cities, Toronto and Vancouver, where the housing shortage is most acute. But demand is now overwhelming everywhere, including small towns and rural areas. Even if many more homes were built, supply cannot keep up with the exceptional rapid growth in demand. It's Economics 101. But the entire political and media establishment refused to recognize it until very recently, because it was not politically correct to question the consensus in favor of even more immigration. The People's Party has been talking about this since it was founded more than 6 years ago. We were called racist and xenophobic. Today, everyone is forced to admit that we were right. As we know, the Trudeau government has literally opened its doors to refugees around the world for many years. Tens of thousands of illegal refugees have entered Canada through the Roxham Road in Quebec. While Canadians are unable to find affordable housing, governments spend gigantic sums to house, feed, and provide services to asylum seekers. This is completely unacceptable. The Canadian government should work for us, Canadians, not for foreigners. The Liberals and Conservatives offer no credible solution to this problem. Both parties propose to continue accepting hundreds of thousands of immigrants, foreign workers, and students and asylum seekers each year. Both parties propose to force cities to change their zoning regulations and to densify residential neighborhoods. In practice, this means transforming pleasant and quiet neighborhoods with backyards where children can play to build apartment blocks that will welcome as many immigrants as possible. Both parties are proposing to get us more into debt and spend billions of dollars in order to subsidize home construction. They don't want to build more houses to help Canadians. They want to build more houses so that they can accommodate more foreigners in Canada. Both the Conservatives of Populaire and the Liberals of Carney want to destroy our quality of life to pander to ethnic lobbies that ask for more immigration, and businesses that want more foreign cheap labor. The People's Party is going to solve the housing crisis in the simplest and most effective way possible, by imposing a complete moratorium on immigration for as many years as it takes to solve this crisis. We will also deport the hundreds of thousands of fake foreign students and fake refugees. It is time to really tackle this problem and fix it. It is time for real reform with the People's Party of Canada. Je vais maintenant faire ma déclaration en français. Aujourd'hui, je veux parler de la crise du logement qui sévit partout au Canada et particulièrement ici, dans la région du Grand Toronto. Derrière moi et dans tout ce quartier d'Etobicoke, en banlieue de Toronto, il y a des immeubles à logement qui sont remplis d'immigrants à faible revenu. Nos gouvernements dépensent des milliards de dollars pour construire des maisons et des appartements afin que nous puissions accueillir toujours plus d'immigrants. C'est un symbole de tout ce qui ne va pas dans notre pays, de tout ce qui ne va pas dans notre politique du logement et de notre politique d'immigration au Canada. L'achat d'une maison est devenu hors de portée pour de nombreux Canadiens, en particulier pour les jeunes familles vivant dans les grandes villes. Vancouver et Toronto sont devenus des agglomérations urbaines les plus inabordables au monde. Au cours des dernières décennies, le gouvernement fédéral a manipulé les critères financiers pour que les acheteurs puissent plus facilement se qualifier pour un prêt et pour une assurance hypothécaire. Il a accordé des allègements fiscaux aux premiers acheteurs de maisons et financé des logements sociaux. Le gouvernement a dépensé des milliards de dollars et créé divers programmes bureaucratiques pour supposément rendre le logement plus abordable. Tout ça n'a absolument rien donné, aucun résultat. Au contraire, la crise du logement n'arrête pas d'empirer depuis des années. On sait pourtant exactement quelle est la cause fondamentale du problème. Et oui, c'est l'immigration de masse. Sous le gouvernement Trudeau, la population du Canada a connu son taux de croissance le plus élevé depuis les années 50. Uniquement en 2023, le Canada a ouvert ses portes à près d'1,3 million d'étrangers. Ça représente la totalité de la population de la Saskatchewan et on estime que près de 2,7 millions de résidents non permanents vivaient au Canada en janvier 2024. L'immigration de masse est la principale raison des prix exorbitants du logement dans les villes canadiennes. Environ 40 des immigrants au Canada finissent par s'établir dans seulement 2 villes, Toronto et Vancouver, où la pénurie de logements est le plus aiguë. Mais la demande déborde maintenant partout, y compris dans les petites villes et villages à travers le pays. Mais si on construit beaucoup plus de maisons, l'offre ne peut pas suivre la croissance exceptionnelle et rapide de la demande. C'est l'économie 101. Mais tout l'establishment politique et médiatique a refusé de reconnaître jusqu'à récemment ce problème. C'est un problème de demande, ce n'est pas un problème d'offre de maisons. Parce que tout cela n'était pas politiquement correct de remettre en question le consensus en faveur de toujours plus d'immigration. Le Parti populaire est le seul qui parle de cela, et ce, depuis sa fondation, il y a plus de 6 ans. On nous a traités à ce moment-là de racistes et de xénophobes. Aujourd'hui, tout le monde est forcé d'admettre que nous avions raison. On le sait, le gouvernement Trudeau a littéralement ouvert les portes aux réfugiés du monde entier pendant des années. Des dizaines de milliers de réfugiés illégaux sont entrés au Canada par le chemin Roxham au Québec. Pendant que les Canadiens sont incapables de trouver des logements abordables, les gouvernements dépensent des montants astronomiques pour loger, nourrir et offrir des services aux demandeurs d'asile. C'est complètement inacceptable. Le gouvernement canadien devrait travailler pour nous, les Canadiens, pas pour les étrangers. Les libéraux et les conservateurs n'offrent aucune solution crédible et réelle pour régler le problème. Les deux partis proposent de continuer à accepter des centaines de milliers d'immigrants, des travailleurs et d'étudiants étrangers et des demandeurs d'asile chaque année. Les deux partis proposent de forcer les villes à changer leur règlement de zonage pour densifier les quartiers résidentiels. Concrètement, ça veut dire transformer des quartiers agréables et tranquilles avec des cours arrière où les enfants peuvent jouer pour construire à la place des immeubles à logement qui accueillent le plus d'immigrants possible. Les deux partis proposent de nous endetter davantage à coût de milliards de dollars pour subventionner la construction de maisons. Ils ne veulent pas construire plus de maisons pour aider les Canadiens. Ils veulent construire plus de maisons pour faire en sorte de pouvoir accueillir encore plus d'étrangers au Canada. Autant les conservateurs de Poilievre que les libéraux de Carney veulent détruire notre qualité de vie pour plaire aux lobbies ethniques qui demandent toujours plus d'immigration. Et plaire aussi aux lobbies du monde des affaires qui veulent avoir de la main-d'œuvre bon marché. Le Parti populaire va régler la crise du logement de la façon la plus simple et la plus efficace possible, en imposant un moratoire complet sur l'immigration pendant autant d'années que ce sera nécessaire pour régler cette crise. Nous allons aussi déporter des centaines de milliers d'étudiants étrangers et de faux réfugiés. C'est le temps de s'attaquer pour vrai à ce problème et le régler une bonne fois pour toutes. C'est le temps des vraies réformes avec le Parti populaire du Canada. Merci. Now I'm ready to take some questions. First, the question here. If you want to ask your questions, or go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. First, I'd like to congratulate you on having the unwavering support of our country's best scientists, our best doctors, our best researchers. They love you. They support you. The question I have is, the National Citizens Inquiry is being hid from the Canadian public. Nobody knows about it. The current politicians run and hide from the National Citizens Inquiry. Is there any plan on pursuing or looking at that information?
Yes, the question is about the national inquiry, the one that the civil, the population did just after the history of COVID-19. What is the position of the People's Party in that, regarding that? Our position is to have a real inquiry, parliamentary commission that will look at everything that happened during the COVID-19 hysteria. We want to have witnesses that will come. We want to have experts and doctors, and just to be sure that Canadians will remember what happened to us during COVID-19 was unconstitutional with these draconian measures. That was also, they told us that the vaccine, the so-called vaccine, was safe and effective. It was not safe and effective. So we must do that just to remember everything that happened during that time, and also for these people to be responsible of their actions. Thank you. Another question?
Yes, I have a question. My name is Shirdar Khan. I'm from Muslim Network TV. People living in the Greater Toronto area are concerned about things happening on the foreign policies front. So I want to ask you, what's People's Party of Canada's position on Gaza, Ukraine, all the things happening away from our border? So how do you going to tackle those issues?
So the question is about our foreign policy and the war in Ukraine and what is happening in the Middle East. So first, for our foreign policy, our foreign policy must be based on the security of our national security of Canadians. So the war in Ukraine, we were and we are still the only national political party that said at that time that that's not our war. We must not participate in that war in Ukraine. And, Ukraine, as you know, is a corrupt country. It's sad that the Canadian government did spend more than $20 billion and giving that to Ukraine. As you know, we need to help Canadians first. That's our position. So we are for peace and prosperity. And our goal, I hope that President Trump will be able to have a peace deal with Ukraine and Russia. Concerning the situation in Middle East, as I said, I'm not pro-Palestine, I'm not pro-Israel, I'm pro-Canada. And actually, we don't have any influence over there. So that's not in our national interest to participate in that conflict or other conflicts. Historically, this country promoted peace and peacekeeping, and that's what we must do. So the foreign policy must be based on our national interest, and it is not in our national interest to engage into a war with other countries like we did with Ukraine by giving resources and ammunition to the Ukraine government. Thank you for asking.
So another supplementary question. So there is a call for an arms embargo putting up. So what do you think supporting with arms? So People's Party of Canada is going to stop that?
Yeah, like I said, we must not give any resources or ammunitions to other country to fight a war when it's not in our interest. So that's the position of the party. We want, we need to rebuild our Canadian forces first. And actually, the Canadian forces right now is a woke organization. We need to change the leaderships there. And we need to give them, the resources to protect Canadians. As you know, in Canada, we didn't invest 2% of our GDP in our own defense. We must do that. That is part of the negotiation with President Trump right now. President Trump wants us to put more of our resources to defend ourselves, and we must do that, and also to protect our borders. That's the most important for us. We must be able to live here in a safe and secure country, and in some cities across the country, it is not safe anymore to go out there, to go outside during the night. As you know, the crimes doubled under Justin Trudeau. We need to stop that. Thank you for asking. Another questions online?
For the people online, if you have any questions, please raise your hand. Si vous avez des questions, levez la main. Non, nous n'avons pas de questions ici.
If I may ask one more.
Any
Non,
questions
pas de
online?
questions.
Okay, go ahead, yeah.
You're here in Greater Toronto area, and overall, there is some Islamophobia also. We have seen several incidents happening in Greater Toronto area or elsewhere. So how are you going to tackle that Islamophobia all around Canada?
We have all that because, you know, the new immigrants are not integrating into our society, into our country. They are promoting here on the street their internal conflicts of their country of origin. We don't want that. That's why we need to stop mass immigration, to be sure to be able as a country to integrate these immigrants into our society. I don't want immigrants to live in the ghettos. I want immigrants to be able to fully participate in our society. So when you have conflicts coming from other countries because of immigrants that are not integrated into our society, it's because of our very bad immigration policy. That's why we need to change that. And after having our moratorium, and when we'll fix all the problems that mass immigration is causing, we need to open our doors and to be sure to select immigrants that will share our values. We are not doing that anymore. So when we will reopen our doors, that will be important to have a face-to-face interview with each one of new immigrants who want to be Canadians. And you know, we did that in the past, and now, you know, under Trudeau in the last couple of years, that was not the case anymore. Our doors were opened to everybody, and you know, for Trudeau and also for Carney and for Polyev, it is not a privilege to be Canadian. For them, you know, migration is normal. For us, it is not normal. We will withdraw from the migration compact and be sure to promote Canadian values with new immigrants. Thank you very much. So merci tout le monde. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Great answer.
Thank you. Thank you again.